Coming up on AgweekTV, disappearing topsoil is a big problem for farmers, for their land, and for their bottom line. We'll see results of a new study. We'll have some expert advice for picking the best bull genetics for your ranch. We'll show you the latest technology for keeping your cattle right where you want them. And we'll have some important information about protecting your ag business from the growing threat of cybercrime. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Emily Beal. Topsoil is a precious commodity, and once it's lost, it takes years to restore. A new study from North Dakota State University says losing topsoil not only hurts farmers environmentally, but economically as well. In this week's AgWeek cover story, I take a closer look at the study.
We lose topsoil every day, not just in the growing season, but in the winter as well.
Naeem Kalwar was driving one day when he saw something that stopped him in his tracks. He pulled over to take a picture of what he saw.
That picture actually I took in 2021 December, 5-6 miles west of Grand Forks along Highway 2. And what you see in that ditch is there's hardly any snow because snow would be white. There's mostly blackish or gray, so all of that topsoil is coming from the field, which is right next to that ditch, because it was tilled in the fall.
Kalwar was talking to a colleague last spring who saw a ditch covered in topsoil, much like the one Kalwar saw in 2021.
And he mentioned that he saw a similar ditch that is full of topsoil. So I asked him if he could take a 0 to 6 inch deep soil sample, send it to a lab, and I would tell the lab to do some fertility analysis, and he did.
The fertility analysis came back and the results were astounding. Not only does this loss of topsoil hurt a farmer's field, but it hurts their pockets as well.
If you combine the direct nutrient loss and the nutrients we are losing by virtue of losing organic matter, it comes to $6,682 for a 0 to 6 inch deep sample per acre, or $1,113 for every inch of topsoil per acre.
Kalwar advises farmers to only till their acres when it is absolutely necessary and to incorporate cover crops when possible to help lessen the erosion of topsoil.
This last year, during the Carrington REC's annual field day, and one farmer asked me, he said, "Is this the doomsday?" My answer was, no, it's not the doomsday. There's still hope. But at the same time, we need to change something. Because we talk about it, say, when we see a big dust cloud, we talk about it for a few days, and then we go to business as usual. At some point in time, we'll have to make a hard decision.
You can read more in the next AgWeek magazine or at agweek.com. Elections for Farm Service Agency county boards are now taking place. Ballots were delivered across the country in the first week of January. Minnesota Farm Service Agency Executive Director Kurt Blomgren was once an FSA county committee member. He says it was a valuable experience doing important work. $11 billion in farmer bridge assistance payments will be coming from the FSA office next month to offer some relief to high input costs and market disruptions. In addition, board members make decisions on disaster assistance, conservation, and farm program delivery.
And more authority, I think, than most of us producers would realize. Qualifications are you just live on your farm, live your daily life, farm. That qualifies you to sit in that chair. It makes you more aware of the programs and maybe even how it affects your farm at home. But main focus is to serve the farmers in your area. And that's what we do at the state office as well.
County committees are made up of 3 to 11 members who serve 3-year terms. The ballots will be tallied in February, and new committee members will be installed on March 2nd. When it comes to picking the right bulls for your herd, there are a variety of factors that producers need to consider. Ariana Schumacher spoke with an animal science professor about what to consider when making bull selections.
In the cattle industry, there's an overwhelming amount of information available when it comes to understanding the trait and genetic characteristics of bulls.
What that all means together is you almost have information overload.
Expected progeny difference, more commonly known as EPDs, are useful when determining traits in specific cattle.
It's essentially just a prediction of genetic merit of that animal for a particular trait.
When looking to select a bull, Gonda says the first thing producers need to understand is what is most important to their operation.
What are those truly economically relevant traits that are either going to bring me more money or cost me less money? You know, you've got to consider both income and expenses. And so once you understand what are the traits, characteristics of your animals that are really economically relevant, you look at what EPDs are available that fit those criteria.
There are also selection indexes.
What those are is they take a whole bunch of EPDs, they weight those EPDs by their economic value, assuming making certain economic assumptions about an operation, and they rank bulls based on that selection index value.
When it comes to selecting a bull, Gonda says you shouldn't focus solely on the EPDs.
So I think it's best to use the EPDs to narrow down your selection decisions to a handful of bulls that you would be interested in perhaps purchasing, but then physically evaluate those bulls, evaluate their feet, their legs, muscling, all those sorts of things, because it doesn't matter how good the genetics of a bull is if they can't, for example, walk and breed.
Gonda encourages cattle buyers to talk with the seed stock producers.
I think it's important that if you're serious about using some of this data for making bull selection decisions, that you go and you talk to those seed stock producers that you're buying bulls from, and you use their knowledge of their animals and of these EPDs to let them help you select which bulls might be the best bulls to look at for your operation.
In Brookings, South Dakota, this is Ariana Schumacher for AgWeek.
You can learn more about the selection indexes for each breed on the cattle on the Breed Association's website. Up next on AgweekTV, we'll tell you about some shocking new tech that helps keep cattle where you want them.
At Vatterstad, we're partnering with North American farmers to create the perfect emergence. We're doing this with new and innovative tillage, planting, and seeding solutions, optimized for the field conditions that you face, and with industry-leading capacities to help you get the job done in short windows of time, so you can maximize yields. Vatterstad, we look forward to growing together.
North Dakota Farmers Union is hosting the Evolution Ag Summit on Tuesday, February 17th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the NDFU headquarters in Jamestown. This one-day event will address how food production, processing, and supply chains are adapting to the growing demand for transparency and information about where our food comes from. Register online at ndfu.org/evolutionag.
At Bank North, we strive to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. One transaction, one relationship, and one community at a time. We do it by supporting kids and schools, pitching in to help neighbors in need, partnering with rural businesses, and providing all the traditional and modern banking products and personalized lending services you expect from a reliable financial partner. Bank North, always true.
We offer the full lineup of brand products. Big ones are going to be your conveyors, your land rollers, grain carts, high-speed discs. Those are going to be the very popular ones that we see out in the countryside and we like to have on hand here at all times.
Brand does a really good job of supporting the products and providing the parts on time and when you need them. For a full line of brand products, give us a call at 701-361-4790 or visit our website at northstar-ag.com.
Attention farmers, increase your revenue and prevent compaction from squeezing your profits with PTG's Central Tire Inflation System, now offered at OK Tire and Service. All controlled from the tips of your fingers, ensuring increased yield and improved fuel economy by adjusting your tire pressure within minutes. You are ensuring the best performance from your tractor on the field and off the field, compatible with any radial tire. Call the OK Tire team today or visit oktireinc.com to learn more.
Agriculture is one of the top industries at risk of being targeted by cybercrime. It was a big topic of discussion at Central Dakota Ag Day in Carrington, North Dakota recently. And it isn't just big global agribusinesses that are at risk. Keynote speaker Chris Sherman is CEO of Tech Support Farm, a Fargo-based company focused on technology security for agriculture. He says with ag becoming more and more tech-driven, the security of that technology has become more critical, even on small farms.
Whether it's soil probes or, telemetry or any of that sort of thing, it is really rapidly expanding.
Sherman says the most important advice is to invest in more secure email. He advises buying a domain for email or using a commercial platform that is less prone to hacking. He also says it's vital to learn about phishing attacks. Technology is becoming a new key piece in keeping your cattle in their designated fields and pastures. Ariana Schumacher takes us to a Dakota Lakes research farm in Pierce, South Dakota, where virtual fences are now being used.
Electric collars are being used to keep the cattle in the paddocks and ease the grazing practices here at Dakota Lakes Research Farm.
We still have a physical fence around the very outside boundary to keep the cows in, but inside of that boundary we can set up virtual paddocks, we just draw on the computer, and then they're very easy to change, very easy to move.
The collars download the GPS location of the virtual fences. If the cattle approach the virtual boundary, the collars will give off a few audio signals as a warning. If they don't turn around, they will get an electric shock, similar to an electric fence.
Very quickly, the cows learn it, within a day or two, they understand the system, and they when they hear that audio cue, they turn around, and most of the time, they don't even get a shock anymore.
The software can also show producers where each cow has been in the past 24 hours, along with every time they've got an audio signal or a shock. Silverberg says the data they are collecting has mostly been out of curiosity, but in the future, there's potential for the information to be more useful.
It's interesting, and it's a little bit useful, so you maybe know which fields they're using or which part of the pasture the cows are going into, which parts they aren't. So maybe you can tell if one part's getting more heavily used than the other, maybe part of the pasture is underutilized because the cows are never going there. That could be useful information.
If you do lose a cow, the collars can help locate them. It can also help you to locate the cattle when rounding them up in a large pasture.
I think there's a potential to save a lot of time, and not make some mistakes like leaving behind that one or two cows that are down in the bottom of the draw under a tree and you couldn't see them.
Silverberg expects we'll see virtual fencing more commonly used on livestock operations in the future.
There's a number of companies in the marketplace now, and they're just starting to get this technology out onto actual producers' ranches. And I think we'll see a lot of change. I think we'll see a lot of more advances in what the technology can do, and how effective it is, and improvements in design.
In Pierce, South Dakota, this is Ariana Schumacher for AgWeek.
Silverberg does say they've had a couple of issues with the collars, but overall they've worked well. Ahead on AgweekTV. South Dakota's soybean yield contest may be fun, but it serves a very important purpose. We'll tell you about it in this month's Homegrown segment.
For home delivery of AgWeek, log on to agweek.com or call 800-811-2580.
As your farm evolves, so do the challenges that come with it. At Superior Grain Equipment, our systems are built to make your job easier and help your grain reach its full potential. From gentle drying to durable storage, get the flexibility to market your grain on your time. Superior Grain Equipment, proven solutions to help you grow.
Fertilizer bills cutting into your bottom line? With New Age Farming's Mycomax and Bionic, farmers are already saving $50 to $100+ per acre while building bigger root systems that tap nutrients already in your soil and the atmosphere. Less leaching, more water to every plant, and stronger yields across your acres. See how much you can save. Visit farmfungi.com and check out the Pick Your Profit program today.
The Prairie Revolution Ditcher is the new standard for surface water management. The Revolution Ditcher leaves a smooth finish 5-foot flat bottom cut and cuts up to 10 inches in one pass. Throw dirt in either direction, up to 165 feet. Now with the hydraulic cross auger to break up dirt and keep you working faster. Check out the Revolution Ditcher at Crary.com.
Are you a farmer looking to stay on top of trends in the industry? Attend the International Crop Expo, February 18th and 19th at the Alaris Center. This free event includes seminars and a trade show featuring over 100,000 square feet of farming machinery and vendors. Hear from keynote speakers Michelle Miller and Daryl Richardson. International Crop Expo at the Alaris Center, February 18th and 19th. Learn more at cropexpo.com.
Improve the profitability of your ranch by partnering with Top Herefords. Attend the 26th Anniversary Bull Sale, February 13th at the ranch in Grace City, North Dakota. When you buy a Top Herefords bull, you're getting top-of-the-line genetics and benefits of marketing your feeder cattle and replacement quality heifers direct. It's a common-sense approach to greater profits on your ranch. View the 2026 catalog at topherefords.com and join us February 13th at 1 p.m.
Will these below freezing temps be leaving us anytime soon? Here's our AgriWeather outlook.
Looking at your ag weather for the next couple of days and weeks, we are looking at the month changing to February. Now, let's not kid ourselves. It is still very much winter out there, and temperatures, they're not going to be summer-like for a little bit. Now, the next couple of days and weeks, there is some good news. A little bit more commonly in the 20s and 30s, and there's the occasional day in the 40s as well. Now, the occasional 50-degree day, that's still very rare outside, but the good news is we do decrease those days in the single digits below zero, only around 1 day out of the month. Now, that's still, of course, very cold outside, but looking at some of the days last year, we didn't have any days last year in the 50s, but looking at the past couple of days last year, we did have quite a few days in the teens and single digits. It was a pretty cold February last year, but there's some good news on the way. As we go throughout February, we start to gain a lot of daylight. Now, throughout January, we did gain some daylight. You didn't really notice it that much, though. In fact, we only gained around an hour at the very most. In fact, less than that. But throughout February, we gain around 80 minutes. And you might think that's not too much outside, and it's not too much. But as we go throughout March, it's just giving you some good news here. We start to gain a lot more daylight. Looking ahead at April, 90 minutes, May, another 70 minutes, and those start to add up after a while. By the time we get into the summer, we'll be looking at those 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, even 10 o'clock sunsets. So it's on the way. We just have to wait a little bit longer. But again, once we get into February, that begins the process of starting to get longer days. And once you get longer days, of course, that's when you also get some warmer temperatures. The sun angle goes up, everything gets better. We just have to be a little bit patient. Looking ahead at the drought monitor, a little bit of some dry spots in areas of central and northern Minnesota and southern parts of South Dakota. Of course, winter still has a long ways to go. We'll be looking at more snow on the way, but as of right now, nothing too terribly bad in terms of any drought conditions. Now, let's take a look at the upper level flow patterns, and unfortunately, it's going to stay cold as we go throughout these next couple of days. Looking at your day on Sunday, still bitterly cold. We've been talking about those temperatures in the teens below zero for afternoon highs and overnight lows in the 20s below. Now, throughout the next couple of days after that, unfortunately, we're still gearing up for a very cold end of January. Really, the only semblance of more relief or warmer air, you have to go all the way down into Arizona and Southern California. Of course, those will always be warm outside or at least mild. But going into Thursday, again, later on next week, we'll still be looking at some cold air. And it looks like, unfortunately, January is going to keep a cold grip on us with those cold temperatures. Heading into Saturday, we'll be looking at that cold air making its way further to the south, so well below average temperatures out there. As we head into Sunday, still, that cold air is keeping a tight grip throughout the central and eastern United States. The good news is that once we get into February, the days get a little bit longer, and eventually we'll start to warm things back up.
That's best to have come in for an uptime, that way you don't have downtime later. For every hour that they're down, that costs them money. Fuel cost, the wages for their hired guys. If they don't get out there at the right time, their crop's too dry, it starts falling off, they start losing their bushels, they start losing money in a sense. You're literally just throwing money on the ground. So their time is precious and crucial, so They'd hate to have the downtime because they have to be out there and get it done as fast as possible. You put a lot of time into an uptime inspection. You know, it could take 10 to 12 hours to thoroughly inspect a machine to make sure that you don't miss anything.
Farming is more than just a job. It's a way of life. It's your hard work, your investment, your future. At Superior Grain Equipment, we're here to protect it all. From durable grain storage to gentle drying and handling solutions. We build systems designed to last, and we stand by you with service and support every step of the way. Superior Grain Equipment, proven solutions to help you grow.
We offer the full lineup of brand products. Big ones are going to be your conveyors, your land rollers, grain carts, high-speed discs. Those are going to be the very popular ones that we see out in the countryside and we like to have on hand here at all times.
Brent does a really good job of supporting the products and providing the parts on time and when you need them. For a full line of Brent products, give us a call at 701-361-4790 or visit our website at northstar-ag.com.
Add more bushels to your hopper and money to your pocket by harnessing the power of air with Crary Wind Systems. Whether your beans are chest high or barely off the ground, Crary offers two solutions that add a constant stream of high-velocity air to quickly feed crop back to the auger, eliminating bunching, reducing shatter loss, and increasing your ground speed. Don't let crop conditions dictate your yield. Check out the Crary Air Reel or Crary Wind System today.
Attention farmers, increase your revenue and prevent compaction from squeezing your profits with PTG's Central Tire Inflation System, now offered at OK Tire & Service. All controlled from the tips of your fingers, ensuring increased yield and improved fuel economy by adjusting your tire pressure within minutes. You are ensuring the best performance from your tractor on the field and off the field, compatible with any radial tire. Call the OK Tire team today or visit oktireinc.com to learn more.
Homegrown is brought to you by South Dakota soybean farmers through their Soybean Checkoff.
Each year, South Dakota Soybean holds a yield contest for its growers. Not only does it showcase the state's impressive soybean crop, but it helps gather some very important data. In this segment of Homegrown, I learn more about the contest.
When I talk at Soy 100 about the results, I try to mention how important it is for farmers to join the contest.
Cheryl Reese works in the Agronomy, Horticulture, and Plant Science Department at South Dakota State University. She helps collect and analyze data from the soybean yield contest. She says the data that is collected from the contest is very useful.
We create this yearly database where we track all these variables from these different contest entrants that we can see, okay, in South Dakota, what is kind of helping promote high yield? I mean, precision farming is a term we hear every day in agriculture now. And this South Dakota yield data can help farmers understand precision management by tweaking it. And what do I have to tweak with my management to get me a few more bushels, 5-6 more bushels per acre? What do I need to do? And I just think the more information that we have, the better management recommendations that we can, like I said, make or use other databases to put information together.
Steve Hegena farms in Davis, South Dakota, where he raises corn, soybeans, and occasionally alfalfa. He says the contest is a good opportunity for farmers to try something different in their soybean acres.
You can try different number of beans and see how they work and just experiment with stuff and try different practices on the ground that you normally don't. You want to add a little something to try to get some yield, you can try it. You don't have to do it the whole farm, just on a field or so.
Last year, Hegena took home second place in the soybean yield contest. He attributes his high yields to a variety of practices and decisions.
You plant early, you plant a good bean, and then we have a lot of cow manure, so the manure is huge. We always go long season bean to get the higher yield that's under a pivot. We plant them really early, plant them before corn. So yeah, and just try to manage the disease and everything like that.
For more information about the South Dakota Soybean Yield Contest, visit sdsoybean.org. Up next on AgweekTV, Minnesota lawmakers and farmers share concerns before the upcoming legislative session.
Partnership is a way of life here in the Northland. It's about pitching in to help our neighbors, making lending decisions locally, honoring long-term commitments to farmers, Main Street businesses, teams, schools, and rural communities. We're more than just a bank. We're a community partner, working constantly and diligently to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. Bank North, always true.
Improve the profitability of your ranch by partnering with Top Herefords. Attend the 26th Anniversary Bull Sale, February 13th at the ranch in Grace City, North Dakota. When you buy a Top Herefords bull, you're getting top-of-the-line genetics and benefits of marketing your feeder cattle and replacement quality heifers direct. It's a common-sense approach to greater profits on your ranch. View the 2026 catalog at topherefords.com and join us February 13th at 1 p.m.
If you're thinking about upgrading dryers, which I think in today's world where there's so much more corn around to get a hold of advanced grain, we were able to cover for 20% more acres and probably 20% less time this year, mostly due to the dryer.
Our combines ran longer and harder than they've ever run in the past because we actually had the capacity in the dryer. We're Jason and Justin Top, and we would highly recommend advanced grain handling for any of your grain dryer needs.
Are you a farmer looking to stay on top of trends in the industry? Attend the International Crop Expo, February 18th and 19th at the Alerus Center. This free event includes seminars and a trade show featuring over 100,000 square feet of farming machinery and vendors. Hear from keynote speakers Michelle Miller and Daryl Richardson. International Crop Expo at the Alerus Center, February 18th and 19th. Learn more at cropexpo.com.
At Vatterstad, we're partnering with North American farmers to create the perfect emergence. We're doing this with new and innovative tillage, planting, and seeding solutions, optimized for the field conditions that you face, and with industry-leading capacities to help you get the job done in short windows of time, so you can maximize yields. Vatterstad, we look forward to growing together.
Minnesota lawmakers from both parties told farmers this week that the 2026 legislative session will test whether the state can balance environmental regulation, infrastructure investment, and economic survival during one of the toughest farm economies in years. At the Minnesota Ag Expo in Mankato, legislators and Agriculture Commissioner Tom Peterson outlined their priorities. Representative Paul Anderson says farmers are feeling squeezed from all sides, including by new labor mandates such as paid family leave.
We're going to find out just how expensive this program is, and either going to have to raise the tax rate or cut back some of the benefits.
Panelists repeatedly emphasized the need for bipartisan cooperation as lawmakers head into a short session and an election year.